It is Saturday morning, the 7th of May 2022. Today's Skidmark I'm doing on the ANC that is losing control over the country. When you look at the things happening in the public securities environment, it is quite clear that the ANC has lost control. They have lost physical control over the country. For any efficient government to be in control, physical control of the country, they must be able to provide security to their citizens, and they must be able to protect the country's assets. For that, a decent government has got a police force, and they have an army, a military force. Unfortunately, in South Africa, in '94, the ANC inherited a world-class military operation and a world-class police operation. But through cadre deployment and lots of laws that are discriminating against white people, the ANC have lost generations of professional policemen, professional soldiers, and professional civil servants. Say about the apartheid regime what you want. One thing was for sure. In that government structure, only the best of the best was used, employed, and deployed. Today we're sitting with a civil service that is loaded with people that are mostly incompetent, inexperienced, untrained, and many of them totally incapable of doing the job he's supposed to do because he doesn't have the experience or the background. Many of them are lying about their qualifications. Many of them sits there because they've got good connections in the ANC. And the ANC has used the civil service as an employment agency, and that's it. There are so many municipalities today that are in total chaos, but if you go and you look at the financials, you will see that the wages and salary bills exceeds the revenue. So, where must the money come from to provide services and provide infrastructure? But let's come back to the security thing. Under this ANC, and specifically the last few years with Fikile, Mr. Veerfokol, under his watch, the South African national transport system is falling apart. The railways is a disaster. Everything is dysfunctional. And whatever money was budgeted from the government is just getting stolen faster than the government can provide the funds. Infrastructure are being ripped down and broken down. From a once best in the Southern Hemisphere railway network, there's basically nothing left. If you look at how stations are pillaged, how railway lines are carried away, it is absolutely disgusting. Look at the electricity infrastructure. Cables are being stolen every day by the truckloads. And that leaves communities without electricity, sometimes for months. And then Tito Mboweni comes out and he makes a tweet. And in that tweet, he implies that the political parties and the communities must protect this infrastructure. My question is, why are we paying taxes? Why? No infrastructure is provided, no service is provided. The July riots of last year indicated clearly that citizens are on their own when it comes to their safety. It was private citizens and private security companies that protected most of the communities in Natal, in KwaZulu. Now this Mboweni implies that we must look after the infrastructure ourselves. Yes, I agree. Don't drive past people digging a trench. Report it, because they're most probably busy stealing cables. We must report it. But we sit with a problem. Where must we report that? Where must we report that to? Many of the police stations are totally dysfunctional. They don't have transport or proper vehicles. They're understaffed, and many of them are staffed with totally incompetent people. And worst of all, many of these police stations are corruption nests on their own. Little crime syndicates operating in a bigger community. It is a disaster. And unfortunately, we're sitting with a situation that in South Africa, the majority of the voters that votes for this incompetent government are people that are not well informed. They are people that many of them can't read properly. So, and the ANC had gone out of its way to specifically destroy the education system, because they're trying to keep the population dumb. That's what they're doing. Excellence is never rewarded in this country of ours. Idiots are rewarded. Idiots are promoted. In the last few months, I've seen things on Twitter that gives me hope. There are young black people that are throwing off the shackles of this inherited loyalty to the ANC. And they are beginning to question it. As I said in another video that I did, our problem is basically that people are voting for the ANC out of tradition. But there is now a crop of young people, and there is some brilliant, intelligent people among them. If we look at the Operation Dudula and we look at Put South Africa First, Victoria Africa, those people, they are well educated and they are good at stating their mission. I like what I see. They stick to the law, and that's it. Most important is that it is clear that they're breaking away from this traditional ANC voting. Now, the old fat, useless group that is in control of the ANC has always done everything possible to keep younger people out of management positions. And they do it because they fear these young people, because these young people are actually intellectually well above their place, and they are feeling intimidated by these young people. So they never allow them into management positions. But they keep people there in serious positions. People that are uneducated, people that are of dubious IQ, they run the country. It is shocking when you look at a person like Fikile, and you have to take it into consideration that that man is in charge of the transport system. That man can't be in charge of a spaza shop, but yet he's a senior minister. The same with this idiot that they have got in the police service. That ook. In the old days, people landed into top positions like that only if they had a proven track record and they had experience that will make it possible for them to do a good job. The ANC just throw people into positions and hope things will go well. That cannot continue. I see a lot of change coming. And from what I see young people posting on Twitter specifically, there is a movement that is going to push this ANC out of control. Who will replace the ANC? That I have no idea. There is the two parties, the one from Gayton McKenzie and the one from Herman Mashaba, that shows promise. But the problem is, nobody is going to win an outright majority, so the ruling will have to be through a coalition. And in this, I am deeply disappointed in the DA. They are the party that has got the best people for administration. They have the experience and they have the qualifications. But they are treating their coalition partners with disdain. The DA will never get an outright majority. They will always depend on coalition partners. And they better learn to respect these coalition partners. Not bully them and intimidate them and treat them as second-rate components of the coalition. That way, they are really going for a disaster. I cannot understand that they cannot just simply focus on the tasks at hand. The DA is damn good in administration. They've proven it over many years, and they've proven it in many municipalities. They've proven it in the Western Cape. But if they don't respect their coalition partners, obviously they're not going to agree with everything from that specific party. But the coalition partnership is there to make sure the ANC and the EFF rogues are not in control. And for that they must respect the coalition partners. Where this is going to end, I don't know. One thing is for sure, the ANC is gone.